Welcome, home viewing audience, to Game 23 of the Fresh and the Furious 2013, the Renegade Derby Dames versus Pulp Affliction. This will be an elimination bout. After this, only the winner will move on, and that winner will move on to the Reeve Arena next door, and a chance at greatness. We have had a little bit of an injury in the last game, so unfortunately our timings are a little bit off if you're tuning in late. The game is not yet underway, so that's a good thing for you. We are going to be getting underway in less than 5 minutes. The referees are doing their best to try to get the game up and running. We're going to get these girls' gears checked, and we're going to get this game underway. My name is Ross Sausage, and I'll be boutcasting with you. So if you have any questions, I don't think I even have a little Twitter feed, so I'm kind of on my own here. Yep, I'm all alone. So if you have any questions, you need to text or call one of your derby friends, or maybe put it up on the feed for the other arena and simulcast that game. And hopefully they'll answer your question. Hopefully I'll be able to answer any of your questions as they occur through my skills of announcing. See, the gear check is almost underway. Before we get going here, of course, I'd like to thank our sponsors, Monster Muffin, Canadian-made derby wear for on and off the track, 1234 Skate Co. Visit them, 1234skateco.com, and Rumbling Rage Derby Shop, rumblingRageDerbyShop.com. Also, one of our major sponsors here today, Rydell Skates, providing MVPs from this tournament for every team with a brand new set of wheels. So we thank them very much for that and for paying their love of derby forward. And our in-house announcer getting the crowd fired up. We see Pulp Affliction already on the line. They're ready to go. And proprietor of Monster Muffin's own Monster Muffin, number 333, will be the initial jammer for the Renegade Derby Days. And I believe that's Scooby Smacks for Pulp Affliction. I think we're just trying to get the scoreboard reset. As on jam number 1, it'd be very difficult for teams with different names than the teams playing to have a score of 85 to 41. It's all the details, little details that go in. If you're watching, of course, you're probably into Derby and you know the value of our NSOs, our non-skating officials, as well as our zebras. So make sure you give them a big pat on the back any chance you can. A lot of volunteer hours, a lot of work goes into getting these bouts and especially these tournaments. And we thank everybody for their attention. I'm deliberately leaving those long pauses there so that if someone's like an armchair coach or coach, what is that? Armchair coach at home. You guys can just fill in that blank with your own words and impress your friends. I probably won't do that through, once the action gets going, I may be cutting you off a lot. But for now, just fill in the blanks, talk about who your favorite players are, whether it's number 150, Kim Bustion, out there for the Derby Dames, or whether you're a big ref supporter, like number 705, my ref nut. Here we go. We're getting a chant for Monster Muffin. And his first jam is underway. Starburst, number 5, breaks through. Starbust, I apologize. She will be our first lead jammer of the bout. Monster Muffin has fought her way through. She is now through the pack. Starbust now attaining some points. Monster Muffin gaining quickly. Looks like Monster Muffin may have snagged a point of her own. She did. And Starbust grabs 4. After one jam, the score is now 4-1. And we have our second jam getting ready to get underway. It's a fight into turn 1. Haulin' Ass seems to have pulled out in front. And is lead jammer. And we have a penalty called on Deviate. Mistress Demeanor heads to the box, and we have our first power jam of the game. Haulin' Ass, the only jammer who can score points for the next minute, unless she commits a penalty of her own. Not that we're wishing that on her, but she does just that, actually. She is now also heading to the box. Number 550, Haulin' Ass. We have a switch in Power Jam. Misdemeanor, released from the box. Will not be eligible for lead jammer, so this will go another minute. And she has that opportunity to put as many points on the board for her team as she can. The Pulp maintaining a really good wall, although eventually spread too far out. Haulin' Ass released from the box. No longer lead jammer. Still puts 5 points on the board. Misdemeanor also putting 5 points on the board. Jam got called off prematurely. Don't know how. 2 more points going on the board for Pulp Affliction. Score 16-6 as we move into the 3rd jam. Official timeout being called, perhaps for an illegal procedure, as that jam seemed to have been called off prematurely. Jam number 3, we have Red Hot Sonya, number 11, with Pulp Affliction. And for the Renegade Derby Dames, I cannot see. I apologize. I'm being blocked from this angle. I think I saw a 4, might be 34, Grim Gables. And I see a 3 on her other arm. That will be Grim Gables. Jamming for the Renegade Derby Dames. Again, if you're watching at home, you might want to flick your web browser or open a new browser over to monstermuffin.com, where you can unleash your inner monster on the track in Monster Muffin Derby wear. From the street to track, we've got you covered, outfitting teams with uniforms all around the world. Check out all the excitement at www.monstermuffin.com. And we're getting the whistle to get things underway. A 4-3 advantage in the pack for the Renegade Derby Dames. Both jammers hitting the back of the wall. Excellent block. Good defensive work from the 3 Pulp Affliction players left on the track. And Red Hot Sonya pulls lead jammer. And KDKO also on her scoring pass. Red Hot Sonya on the back of the pack. And she has called the jam, putting 3 more points on the board for Pulp Affliction. We had an illegal procedure there. And Kate Knievel returns to the box. And both sides of that pack meeting each other at the pivot line. And we have a lead jammer in number 182, Grizzly Locks. And she is going to be on a power jam. Grabs 5 points, quick and easy. We see Pulp Affliction trying to speed the pack up as the Renegade Derby Dames try to fish for one of their players to slow it down. No pack has been called, and that's going to get another easy 5 points on the board. And those points are going on to the Pulp Affliction scoreboard. There we go. That has now been corrected. And K9 is now out of the box. Kate Knievel, the pivot, returns. As does the jammer. Starbust still on her initial pass. And we have a clear penalty box. 5-on-5 derby. Grizzly Lock still weaving her way through, still putting points on the board. And Grizzly Locks calls that off, putting another 4 points on the board, bringing the score 19-25 as we move into the fourth jam. And we have another official timeout being called. Head ref calling in the coaches and captains. From equipment to training to advice, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1234 Skate Company will get you rolling. Visit 1234skateco.com. One of our proud sponsors here, the Fresh and the Furious 2013. Helmed by Peterborough's own Lucid Lou. I can't even really say Peterborough's own. She plays in a number of leagues, and she's very active in the derby community. And wouldn't it just be great if you guys could all go and visit 1234skateco.com and purchase some of your much sought after derby gear. Seven minutes gone, 13 minutes left in this bout. Pulp Affliction holding on, 19 points. That may change. I do see the refs over talking to those guys. And we may have a score change. Renegade Derby Dames, 26 points. And yes, the Pulp Affliction were awarded more points that should have gone to the Renegade Derby Dames. So that score has been rolled back. We're now looking at 16-26. We now have the head ref explaining to the two different captains why that score has changed. And we see bench manager Flying Brian Killen exchanging some words. Jam ref, my ref nut, has actually skated over and is also explaining to the captains why the change has occurred. And it does look like the Pulp Affliction score has gone back up to 19. So the argument made by Flying Brian must have been a convincing one. And we're getting ready. Firing up jam number 5 as we move just over 13 minutes left on the clock. Very tight game, 19-26. Misdemeanor, number DV8, jamming for the Renegade Derby Dames. And we have what looks like Haulin' Ass. It is Haulin' Ass, 550. And in that order, Misdemeanor is lead jammer. Haulin' Ass right behind, forcing the call. Jam number 5 is in the bucket. Quick setup, getting ready to go. And the chants behind me remind me that Monster Muffin is jamming again for the Renegade Derby Dames. Moving from inside to outside, trying to gain that advantage. And Red Hot Sonya doing the same, trying to get to the front. She gets checked into one of her own players, and she is down. And Monster Muffin has made her way to the front, first legally making her lead jammer. She is already at the back of the pack, and Red Hot Sonya still fighting her way through. And there we go, a natural grand slam, 5 points on the board. Going to extend the lead for the Renegade Derby Dames. 19-31. Red Hot Sonya still having a tough time getting through that Renegade wall. Monster Muffin at the back of the pack again. Scores 2 points very easily. Fighting for those last couple, but she has made it through again. 5 more points. We have a failure to reform. That's going to lighten up the defensive line as number 39 heads to the box. But Monster Muffin back of the pack again. Red Hot Sonya through the pack. Prompts a call from Monster Muffin after dropping another 4 points. Making the score 19-40. Just under 11 minutes left. We're heading into jam number 7. And penalty confusion from the Renegade Derby Dames. All sorted out. We're ready to get this one underway. Both jammers fighting. Starburst a bit of an edge. Grizzly Lock trying to take the inside but hit to the outside. And Starburst is lead jammer. Hopefully going to close some of the gap formed by the Renegade Derby Dames in these last couple jams. And she is putting points on the board now. Bit of a thin pack. And Pulp Affliction will take a penalty for just that. And that will release Grizzly Lock from the pack. She is in scoring position, but not before Starbust can get her hands on some points. Playing it very safe. Calls that jam off after 2 points. Bringing our score 26 for the Pulp Affliction, 40 points for the Renegade Derby Dames. Getting a signal from the box. There is already a pivot in the penalty box. And message received, pivot removed. We're going to have 3-on-3 for this jam. Both jammers having some trouble. Haulin' Ass pulls to the outside. That worked for her. She is lead jammer. And Misdemeanor still fighting her way through the back. Looking for a spot, and no, pushed on the outside of turn 3. She's back up. Both jammers at the back of the pack. Haulin' Ass in scoring position. Again, she's liking the outside, but that time she was pushed to the outside, and that slowed her down a little bit. Misdemeanor now through the pack on her scoring pass. And Haulin' Ass fighting through the last couple skaters. And we've got Canine moving to the box. Kate Knievel. And 5 points put up for Haulin' Ass. And this lead is down to 9 points. Pulp Affliction rallying very well. as they must in short games like this, just under 8 minutes left. It's important to fight for every point you can. And when you get those power gems, you take as much advantage of them as you can. We've got Renegade Derby Dames, 4 on the wall. Pulp Affliction, only 2 blockers. But that doesn't stop number 11, Red Hot Sonya, from pulling lead jammer, but hot on her trail. Monster Muffin in pursuit. Trying to get some quick points. Looked like it worked. 4 more. My ref nut grants her 4 more points, and that means this is a 4-point game. 7 minutes left. Pulp Affliction 35, Renegade Derby Dames 40 points. Nobody's used a timeout. We've got 4 on 3 in favor of the Renegade Derby Dames. Whistle blown and right up the outside line. Grizzly Locks, your lead jammer. She's going against Scarbust, who also makes a push on the outside line. She's through, half a lap behind, but that doesn't mean much in the speed of this game. Grizzly called on a cut, but the jam is going to remain called off. And he is pulling her out. Joe the Look Smith pulling Grizzly Lock from the bench. She's going to have to sit this jam. The first minute of it anyway. And it doesn't look like they're giving an official timeout. She's going to have to move. She doesn't want to get saddled with an illegal procedure. She's seated, and the jam is underway. Haul and Ass, our lone jammer out there. Grabs lead jammer in seconds. You see Pulp Affliction doing her ducks in a row impression, trying to keep this pack slow, letting Haul and Ass fight her own way through, as she does. 5 points dropped in very quickly, 40 to 44. We could see a lead change this jam. And we see a failure to reform penalty laid against Pulp Affliction. And another 5 points dropped. There is our lead change. Haul and Ass. No, only 4 points going up. We have a, nope, 3 points. And Grizzly Locks out of the box. 5 points go on the board for Pulp Affliction. She is not lead jammer. This will run the duration. We've got 45 seconds left. Both of these players on scoring passes. It's all down to pack speed and how fast these jammers can haul their ass, as Haul and Ass, I'm sure, is doing. 4 more points on the board for Pulp Affliction, 52 to 44. Grizzly Lock answering back. She's picking up 4 points of her own. Haul and Ass answers right back. She is gaining on Grizzly Locks, which is what you need to do, but with 8 seconds left, we're not sure if Grizzly Locks is going to get some more points on the board. In fact, I think Pulp may have held off. They did. They held off Grizzly Locks as well. End of the 11th jam, the score, Pulp Affliction 56, Renegade Derby Dames 48. Three and a half minutes, counting down. Pulp Affliction hoping they can hang on. Of course, Renegade Derby Dames only a small push from making another lead change, taking a lead. Both teams missing a blocker. Actually, Renegade Derby Dames just getting their 4th back. But Red Hot Sonya, not lead jammer, but through the pack. Monster Muffin lead jammer calling it off. Yielding to the pressure and the heat laid on by Red Hot Sonya. 30 seconds, drop off the clock, and we move on to one more jam. Score is unchanged, 56-48. 2 minutes, 40 seconds left. Monster Muffin staying out, putting the star back on. Both jammers fighting into turn one. Very tight pack. Starbust moving to the outside, but inside. Takes it, Monster Muffin, lead jammer. Starbust did get ahead, but fell down and was absorbed back into the pack. Here comes Monster Muffin. She's going to put some points up. Trying to move through on the inside. As is Starbust. Starbust is through. She is on her scoring pass. Monster Muffin took a hit there on turn 4, but she's back up. And again, taking the inside. Not working. She fell down and decided to call this jam off. But she did pull. Thought I saw a 5 there. Yes, 5 points. Very, very close game. Minute and a half left. 56-53. This is what we call good roller derby. You watching at home? Doesn't get much closer than this. Anybody's game. We have a clear bench, 5-on-5, heading into what might be the last jam of this game.
Under a minute, period.
Both jammers fighting. Red Hot Sonya on her knees, followed by Misdemeanor, also put to the floor. Both of these jammers fighting. Just a couple girls remain. Almost got her lead jam call. And instead, Misdemeanor is lead jammer. Both jammers through on their scoring pass. And it looks like we're going to have one more jam after all. Lead jammer will have the ability to stop this game immediately as soon as they get lead jam. 15 jams it took these girls to get to where they are. 56-53, still anybody's game. No. Monster Muffin jamming yet again. Almost had lead jammer, but was forced to her knees and had to scramble to the outside and rejoin the back of the pack. Haulin' ass gets lead jammer, checks with her bench, and then, yes, stops the play before any points are scored, which should assure them the game. We have our head ref skating over, looking at the score. He's expected to call it. And we do have an official score. Pulp Affliction 56, Renegade Derby Dames 53. Very close game, but Pulp Affliction will move on. You will see them again playing at the Reeve Arena. Or won't we? Wait a second, we won't. I apologize. Pulp Affliction did finish strongly, but both of these teams are not moving on. Oh, there it is, 23. They're going to be playing at 7 o'clock versus the winner of the concurrent game, which looks like it was Les Bûches. They had a score of 82-33. against the Neophytes. And those two will both be meeting at 7 o'clock in the Ted Reeves Arena. And the winner from there will move on to the grand finale to see who will take home the crown in the 2013 Fresh and the Furious. Unfortunately, that will be it for the Renegade Derby Dames. They fought well today. They played some great games, but the Pulp has knocked them out. Stay tuned. We got game 24 coming here from the bubble. Toronto's own Divas versus the Windsor Assault team. Plenty more Derby action tonight. Stay tuned to CanuckDerbyTV.com.